What's up? Grab a seat and thank you for tuning in to the latest edition of Cronkite Sports Live. I'm Eliav Gabay, he's Chancellor Johnson, and Chance, it really feels like we've got a bit of a hot streak going here. Last few weeks have been some great shows, man.
Absolutely. I think the only thing hotter than us right now is ASU Athletics. From the football team who has now won 3 straight to an undefeated men's basketball team and more. And to add more fuel to the flames, ASU reeled in some big-time recruits. In the first 2 days of the signing period, a total of 53 players signed, including Jalen House, the number 7 ranked point guard in the nation and the son of Eddie House for men's basketball. Colton Schultz for wrestling, who was the number 1 pound-for-pound recruit in the 2019 class. Swimming picked up Jack Dolan, who was the number 7 recruit in the nation. And lastly, golf added 2 top 40 amateurs.
ASU's recruiting has been on fire, and so is its football team, winning 3 games in a row, but it doesn't mean much if they can't finish strong. The Devils play in Oregon on Saturday, needing a win to keep their Pac-12 title hopes alive. WCSN was at practice this week to hear what ASU expects from the Ducks and their outlook for the final weeks of the season.
I think the players are focused in on the task at hand, playing a very talented football team on the road, at night. It'll be a great atmosphere, I think. They have a great fan base up there, can get loud. I think offensively, they have one of the better offenses. They got a very talented quarterback. I mean, he can really throw the football. They're very balanced. Has some good wide receivers. They run the ball. Defensively, they have athletes in the back end of their defense. They've got a good punt returner.
They're an athletic team. They got some guys that make plays. They're a little beat up, but they got guys that are going to step up and make some plays for them. So they play really sound defense. I don't think that they have some young guys on their defense, but they don't make young guy mistakes, if that makes sense. They play under their coach, and they trust that their coach is telling them what to do and the right thing to do, and they do it. And anytime you have that, you're bound to make plays. So just all about countering it. I mean, you guys know how we're going to play ball. We're going to run that rock, take our shots when we got to take the shots. Intermediate pass game is always there. And we're just going to go out there and play to, put points on the board.
There comes a point in the season where you don't even wear pads anymore. You cut down your practices. You want players fresh. The thing I learned from Coach Slocum's dad, RC, he said, I found that, my guys weren't fresh. They weren't excited. And then he said, at the end of the season, he said when they got into bowl preparation or that kind of stuff, he said he could never win a bowl game. And he talked to other coaches, and he said, maybe I'm practicing too much and too hard and beating guys up. And he said when he stopped doing that, he started winning bowl games. At the end of the season, they got to be fresh. Now, I'd known that because I was a player. And I had a taskmaster as a coach and loved the man. He calls me once a week, Dick Vermeil, right? He was the taskmaster. I mean, he was like, but I learned from him, and then as he continued to coach in the NFL, he kind of cut back a bit too, knowing that I got to have a fresh football team. So there's this fine line you walk all the time as a coach, trying to make sure your team's fresh.
Time to talk hoops. Men's hoops, that is. ASU is 3-0, and their victory on Monday night might have been their most impressive yet. To talk about it, Chris Gleason joins us now. And Chris, through their first few games, ASU won the games they were supposed to win. I know it's a small sample size, but what do you make of their start?
Yeah, Chance, like you say, it's a small sample size, but I think you're seeing a team that's getting comfortable playing with each other. Their margin of victory has increased with each of those 3 wins, and obviously everyone was so excited with all the new recruits and the transfers that are coming into play for this team this year. The flip side of that is that it takes time to develop chemistry, and they've developed it to the point to be confident enough to play with their tougher schedule coming ahead.
I want to talk defense for a moment. During their preseason game, Coach Hurley wasn't exactly pleased about that side of the ball. And now 2 weeks later, he was saying it was their best defensive performance he's had as ASU's coach. What have you seen from their defense?
Yeah, Chance, it's their big men and their guards. It's a team effort. Everyone's playing well. Those guards, Coach Hurley talked about how they're using their athleticism to force turnovers. That's guys like Lugens Dort, averaging 2.3 steals per game, and Remy Martin. down low. They're rebounding better than anyone else in the Pac-12 by far, led by Zylan Cheatham, 10 rebounds a game. And what that does for ASU is it limits the other team to 1 shot per possession. That's been a big thing Coach Hurley's talked about that's allowed them to improve so much in these last 2 games.
Now, ASU was scheduled to play tonight, but their game versus San Francisco was canceled due to the air quality. So now they'll turn their attention to their first true test as they take on a ranked Mississippi State team in a Vegas tournament on Monday. What do they need to do to stay among the ranks of the undefeated?
As simple as it sounds, Chance, they just need to keep playing their game. Mississippi State is probably the best ranked matchup they have on the schedule, at least in this non-conference portion. For example, Mississippi State guards very well on the perimeter, but they don't defend well inside. And ASU isn't like they are last year. They're not a live and die by the 3 kind of team anymore. They have these guys down low, Kamani Lawrence, I already mentioned Zylan Cheatham, Romello White, Daquan Lake. So they just need to keep relying on those big men to be successful down low, and I think they're in good shape. They have a good chance to beat Mississippi State.
Now, Chris, very quickly, that's a bold statement considering there's Nevada and Kansas on the schedule coming up soon, but we will see. Chris, thanks for your time. Now, for the first time in the program's history, ASU men's hockey is now ranked. The Sun Devils checked in at number 18, and one of the reasons for the Sun Devils' success is forward Johnny Walker, who leads the nation in points. WCSN reporter Riley Trujillo has more on the sophomore sensation.
If you know about Arizona State's men's hockey team, you've probably heard the name Johnny Walker.
Johnny's going to score. I think he's going to score at this level. I mean, teams know what's coming. They know to key in on him, and he just finds ways to get it done.
The kid just is a hockey player, you know, and he's the epitome of you want him on your team.
Johnny Walker has made a big name for himself at Arizona State, scoring 17 goals as a freshman. And as a sophomore, he currently leads all of college hockey with 11 goals in 12 games. 2 weeks ago, he scored the overtime goal for the Sun Devils to defeat the previously undefeated Penn State on the road.
Scores! Walker scores on Jones!
Not only does Walker have a big presence in front of the net, he's got a big personality to back up the numbers.
He's obviously a colorful kid, you know. That's a PG way to put it, describing Johnny Walker. Nice Johnny, you know, like some nights you gotta have a leash. If I had a leash and I could yank it, I'd do it, but I'd probably get in trouble if I put a leash on him, so I won't do that.
It may seem like all fun and games, but one thing is for sure about Johnny Walker. He's not slowing down anytime soon.
Not good enough. Like we talked about all year, there's no moral victories, and we just got to do that much more. And I know that we have the group that will step up and will make things happen regardless of what anyone else says. They haven't believed in us in 10 games, so we'll keep doing what we're doing.
In Phoenix for Cronkite Sports, Riley Trujillo.
While ASU men's hockey has been on national headlines, people seem to forget the great season Sun Devil women's hockey is having. They've already surpassed their goal total from last year and have allowed about 30 fewer goals against this season compared to last. To dive deeper into why things are looking up, we bring in Cronkite Sports hockey reporter Reed Harmon. Reed, thanks for joining me. And quite simply, what has contributed to their seemingly big jump from previous seasons to this one?
Right, so previous seasons, they had just 15 players last year, scored just 45 goals, and had just 8 wins. This season alone, they have 21 players. That amounts for a full roster, so they could put in subs, they could have nice breaks, and they already have 49 goals and 6 wins. So they're shaping out to have one of the best seasons that they've ever had.
Yeah, you mentioned 21 players on the squad. This is crazy. 12 of those 21 are freshmen. How have these young Devils impacted the team?
No, what's even crazier is that the top 5 players on the team in points, 4 of them are freshmen. And the number 1 player, Kat Jones, she has 16 points right now, and she's on pace to break the single season record for most points in a season. So they've been really great for them. Head coach Lindsay Ellis on Wednesday said that, you know, she expected them to have a good season, but she didn't expect them to have this good of a season.
Truly impactful. Yeah. Now, moving forward, the schedule doesn't get much easier for Lindsay Ellis' squad. Do you think this momentum carries through to the end?
I think so. 4 of their last 6 games are up against GCU. They tied the series early on this season, and I think they could take them on. Their other 2 games are up against the University of Minnesota. That'll be a tough task for them, but if they can stay competitive, I think they'll have a good shot at the playoffs.
Well, as Reed mentioned, ASU will face Grand Canyon University at Oceanside Ice Arena December 1st at 5:25 p.m. For the rest of Reed's content, check out CronkiteSports.com. This past weekend, Arizona State women's basketball traveled to the Navajo Reservation in Fort Defiance to face Baylor in a showdown on the res. Although ASU lost the tight contest 65-59, this event was bigger than basketball. Our Alex Gall explains the significance of the game and what it meant to the Native American community.
Between the mountains in northeast Arizona lies a place filled with Native American culture and history, a people dedicated to service, and a community bound together by sport. This is Window Rock, the capital of the Navajo Nation. 5 hours away from Phoenix, the people on this reservation must travel hundreds of miles to get a glimpse of collegiate and professional sports. But for one night in mid-November, that all changed, with two of the country's best women's basketball programs making the Res their home for the evening.
Well, I think we won with the event. You know, I think no matter whether we won or lost, we wanted to show, you know, our Yego, just the character that we play with, who we are. I thought that shined through today, and I just said that's going to inspire the 80,000 kids on the reservation.
With ESPN televising the game, the night became a centerpiece of national attention, greater than that of any single basketball game. Native American culture was displayed throughout the evening, with a packed gym emblematic of the love affair between the Navajo people and their favorite sport.
And that's kind of normal for the Native American community to show up at a game when the doors don't open it and have this long line because of the love that we have for this game.
Dr. Michelle Tom is a former Sun Devil who played under current head coach Charlie Turner Thorne in the 1990s. Tom took a special moment to speak to ASU's team following their 65-59 defeat to Baylor about what playing in this game meant to the Navajo community.
For them to have this, I think maybe felt like they maybe disappointed us. I want to make them well aware of how great of a team they are. They needed to hear that they did honor us and they did put forth their effort. And I want to let them know that they did a phenomenal job.
While the event on Sunday might have just been another basketball game, Arizona State and Baylor took time to pay homage to the unique and rich culture of the Window Rock area and its people. The community in the gym appreciated the unique nature of the event, especially veterans like Jacob Beckus, who said it was special seeing top-tier college basketball on the reservation.
To have like Division I college basketball is a huge honor. ASU and Baylor like some ranked teams, so as a veteran, it's a huge honor, especially on Veterans Day. It's a huge honor to have both these teams here.
And while the event only lasted one night, it made a lasting impact on a generation of people to come. ASU may have lost the game, but they won the hearts of the thousands of fans seated here at the Bejosdale Fighting Scouts Event Center. In Fort Defiance, Arizona, Alex Gall, Cronkite Sports.
With all the great things surrounding ASU athletics, there are bound to be some Twitter gems. To help us discover them, Gabe Schwartz joins the show. Gabe, thanks for joining us.
Glad to be here, guys. So the Twitter sphere is hot again this week. ASU basketball is hot. They're off to a 3-0 start, and so is the Curtain of Distraction, the 942 crew. But they're supposed to be getting opponents. They also are getting ASU players. Lugansk Dort was distracted by the It Clown this week. So my question to you guys is, if you were in charge of the 942 crew, what are you putting behind the Curtain of Distraction?
I would do everything in my power to get James Harden behind that curtain. There's no doubt. If I'm a ball player, I see James Harden, what? and we're going to see, I think, another one of Lugansk looking over, too, if James Harden's back there.
You know, I'm kind of like Lou. I'm a nosy person, so like anything you guys would do, I would probably be very interested in watching it. So
that's very good for opponent free throw percentage going downhill.
Yeah.
We also know death taxes and Mike Leach having interesting press conferences.
Yes.
So Pullman, Washington, and a reporter asked him this week in a Pac-12 coaches brawl, some Hunger Games-esque brawl, who would he pick? And he had a couple thoughts. He was picking, as you'll see here in the video, he goes with ASU's Herm Edwards and another interesting pick.
Okay, so let's see, we got Kevin. Then Herm Edwards is in great shape. Let me think, am I missing anybody? And I don't really care if they get ticked off. Because actually, privately, I think I would, but we're going to be more modest than that. I'm going to say Kyle or Herm for sure. Kyle or Herm.
And why is that?
Well, they're both in shape. For a while, I mean, simple. At this age, if you're in shape, you got a chance. They're both in great shape. You know, you look. I mean, they're both in shape. They both exercise.
All right. So Coach Leach goes with Kyle Whittingham of Utah. ASU's Herm Edwards. Who are you guys picking in this Hunger
This
Games
one
fight?
is no doubter for me. I'm going to go with Oregon's coach. I know he used to play at University of Miami as well, too, but that guy is ripped. How could you not pick him, right?
Well, I'm going to go, yes, I'm going with the Herm train. I mean, if nothing else, I know he's not as strong as some of these guys, but he's going to leave it all in the cage. Literally every bit of him, and I'm going to go with the heart.
I know he's not a great coach, but USC's Clay Helton, pretty buff guy. I think he could get the job done as well.
I'm just concerned about Coach Herm's age being a factor.
Yeah.
It's like 6
It's the
years
fighting
old.
the dog. It's the fighting the dog.
All right.
Well,
Never doubt Herm.
You know, we've seen those Twitter of don't say it, don't say it, don't say it. That trend is coming. So Sun Devil Hockey had their own version of it, as you'll see here. They say, ASU has a hockey team, people are asking. Don't say it, don't say it, don't say it. Yeah, we have jerseys, sticks, and even ice to skate on, too. That was their take on it. What do you guys think?
Honestly, I'm disappointed by this. We're going to be a little critical in this social media segment. I felt like they have a bigger brag to go. We're number 18 in the country. How do you not go with that?
They missed a golden opportunity. I'm going to agree with you on that one, Eliav.
Sorry.
Yeah. Got to do better next time.
Gabe, thanks for joining us. Now, this weekend might be the most important ASU football has had in quite some time. With ASU in the driver's seat for the Pac-12 South Division title, there's a lot that could go right on Saturday, but a lot that could go wrong. To break down some of the scenarios, here's Brady Klain for Impact.
Thanks, Chance. Well, the scenarios for crowning a Pac-12 South champion seem to change every time we look at the updated standings. If the season ended today, Utah would have to represent the Pac-12 South in the championship. But the season doesn't end today. There are still 3 teams able to win the Pac-12 South: Utah, ASU, and U of A. The Sun Devils are the only team that controls their own destiny. Win 2 more games, and they will have the opportunity to contend for the Pac-12 championship for the first time since 2013. If ASU loses to Oregon this weekend but beats Arizona next weekend, the Devils would have to bank on Colorado snapping their 5-game losing streak by pulling out a victory over Utah. If ASU beats Oregon but loses to Arizona, they would need the Wildcats to lose to Washington State this weekend, as well as Colorado defeating Utah. If the Sun Devils lose both of their 2 remaining games, they would have no possible shot of winning their division. However, there is a way that ASU can clinch their spot in the Pac-12 title game this weekend. If the Devils beat Oregon and both Utah and Arizona lose, the Devils would have punched their ticket to Santa Clara with a shot of winning their first ever Pac-12 championship. Back to you guys at the desk.
New season, same result for the ASU wrestling team. The Sun Devils dominated in their dual meet against South Dakota State. 17 wrestlers participated, 16 of them placed, including 7 first-place finishes. The reigning NCAA champ Zahid Valencia picked up where he left off, winning all 3 matches by falls. Tomorrow, ASU will look to take down the North Carolina Tar Heels in Tempe.
Last week, we mentioned that Sun Devils softball lost their top pitcher in Giselle G. Juarez and one of their best position players in Danielle Gibson. G decided to head to Oklahoma. If that seems familiar, that's because it is. The Sooners won back-to-back national championships in 2016 and 17, and last year knocked ASU out of the Women's College World Series. Oklahoma also beat Arkansas in the Super Regional, and that happens to be the school Gibson decided to transfer to. For the Sun Devils that are still here, their season starts in February as they prepare to take on ranked opponents like Florida, Texas A&M, and James Madison.
Now it's time for The Way It Is, and you know the game. Eliav and I will debate over 3 questions, and then Troy, our producer, will pick the winner. Eliav, are you ready to take an L today?
Nope, only getting dubs, baby, only getting dubs.
Well, for our first question, will ASU win the Pac-12 South?
I'm going to go with yes, quite simply, and I think they're going to lose at Oregon, but then win the Territorial Cup at Tucson and seal the deal for the South and potentially go on to win the title.
See, that's the thing, though. If they lose at Oregon and Utah beats Colorado, they'll be out. So that's my concern, and that's why I don't believe they will win the Pac-12 South.
Well, it's going to be tough for Utah without their starting QB and running back, but we'll see. All right, Chance, do you think ASU women's basketball will crack the top 10 this year?
If their game versus Baylor was any indication of how the season will go, I think they'll be right there around that 8, 9, or 10 mark.
I totally agree. Number 4, Baylor, they played him real tight, and I think CTT has something special cooking in Tempe, so absolutely, I'm going to say cracking the top 10.
Now, we talked about him earlier in the show. Will Johnny Walker win the Hobie Baker Award?
I don't think he'll win it, but I do think he'll be a finalist. Johnny Walker, the nation's point leader right now, and he's not going to slow down. I just don't think it'll be enough to win it this time, but maybe next year.
I think he's got the right combinations cooking up. The points leader on top of ASU's success, especially for the first time as a D1 program ranked this week. I think he's got a good shot at winning. Now, Troy,
come on,
let Eliav know.
Show me the money.
That I won.
Show me the money.
Again.
A Manzelli.
Again.
What do you mean again? I beat you last time.
Hey, look, let's not talk about the past, right?
Come on now. Let me finish with a dub right here.
Let's do it, Troy.
Come on now. Come on. Oh
There
my
you
God.
go.
All right.
Around this time, just about a month ago, ASU dropped to Stanford at home. At that point, they were 1-3 in conference and were dead last in the Pac-12 South. The Herm critics grew larger, bench Manny Wilkins' tweets started to surface, and both fans and media questioned if ASU could win another game. Fast forward to now, ASU has won 3 straight, clinched bowl eligibility, somewhat have silenced the naysayers, and most importantly, control their own destiny in the Pac-12 South. Now, ASU stares their biggest challenge yet as they prepare for a date with the Oregon Ducks at Autzen Stadium, where wins have been hard to come by. I mean, the last time ASU won in Eugene, George Bush was still president. Now, a late-night victory over the Ducks combined with a Utah and an Arizona loss would see Arizona State representing the South in the championship for the first time since 2013. First things first, they have to beat Oregon, and regardless of that result, they still have the Territorial Cup to play for. But if they were to pull that off and run off what would be 5 straight games, that would be a stark turn of events and really just a matter of weeks. And that's the way it is.
And now out to top plays in Oceanside Ice Arenas at number 3, where Brinson Passionate, the co-captain of the squad, going around the right side and crashes right into the goalie for the goal. That's 1-0 for ASU. He was penalized for that one, but it doesn't matter. This isn't Sparta. It's Tempe. You'll see it again. He's going to crash right into the goalie, and ASU wins that one 5-4 against Michigan State.
Number 2, Manny Wilkins on his senior day. Gives it off to the running back. Nope. QB keeper. Touchdown Arizona State. Watch this. He gives a nice little look there. I love that right there. So nice. You got to see it twice. Once again, Manny Wilkins into the end zone as he leads Arizona State to a victory over UCLA on senior day.
We'd love to see that. It was an emotional day, and he definitely delivered. At number 1, Zylan Cheatham about to deliver a steal to slam as we see it. Yeah, it's not the windmill, but it is the slamma-jamma at the hoop. Let's see it again. The steal all the way to the Yam. Chance, you gotta love that. We're gonna see a lot more of that.
Yes, we do.
Throughout this season.
Yes, we do. And Zylan Cheatham has been a key part to this ASU men's basketball success early on in the season. So I like what I see from that young man so far.
Yeah, you should. And you know what? I like what we saw from us.
Absolutely.
This season. I think it was solid all the way around, and I'm going to miss anchoring with you. I didn't think I'd say that, but I am going to.
Is that a tear that I see? Are you crying
No,
right now?
no. Well, thank you so much for joining all of us at Cronkite Sports Live. For Chancellor Johnson and everyone behind the scenes, I'm Eliav Gabay. For all of WCSN's content, stay with CronkiteSports.com. We'll see you next time.